Well, it must be Monday because I'm going to start reviewing every Monday, or I'm going to try to at least. I don't know if it'll be every Monday, but I'm going to try my best to make it every Monday. I have a lot of things that I can review, and also if anybody has any suggestions, that'll be great too. Go ahead and message me. But today I picked out Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman to review, and I cleaned everything up so that I could review it, and I've got everything situated. And yeah, if you look behind me, I realize some of my frames do not have pictures in them. I don't have pictures for them yet, but eventually, we'll get there. So I wanted to talk about Practical Magic today, and I'll admit that this is not the first time I've tried to do a review for it. I reviewed it at my library once. I know I did that, and I also posted a review on Goodreads, but that doesn't necessarily mean, oh my goodness, excuse me, that it was very eloquent. I didn't do a very good job of describing some of the things, but I also don't want to give anything away either. But I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to try not to keep you too long because I'm actually not sure how long this thing will actually record for, and it won't tell me when it stops. So the book came out in 1995, which was also the year I was born, so I'm not sure what month it came out, but it's working on 20 years old. And I found that interesting. I actually didn't know that. I just looked it up like, oh, really? Came out when I was born. Wow. I had one of those moments, too, when Lydia and I were watching the original Evangelion show, and it also came out the year I was born, and then ended the year my sister was born, which I thought was really funny, but off topic. And then the movie came out in 1998, not long after the book was published. And I actually watched the movie first, I must admit. I can't remember how old I was when I was actually first watched it. But I know the first time I found it in my mom's stuff, she said I was too young to watch it because the movie they did on a more scary note. I mean, for a young child anyway. And so I don't actually remember how old I was when I actually first watched it, but it wasn't recently, obviously. It's one of my favorites, I must admit, that got to watch growing up. So yes, movie, book. And then they tried to come out with a TV show in 2004, and I can't remember the name of the actress that they were going to have for Sally, but Jerry Ryan was going to star as the sister, as Jillian, the younger sister, and I thought that was interesting too. I couldn't remember that, and I'm surprised that I couldn't remember that, being a Star Trek fan and all. I know who Jerry Ryan is, so I thought that was interesting. And then they tried again to do a TV series in 2010. Still didn't work, and I was a little disappointed because I watched Practical Magic TV series. I would. I mean, I watched the movie, I read the book. It's a good story, so I would definitely watch the TV series if they eventually ever got to doing one. But considering they had 2 starts and 2 fails, it's very unlikely that they'll try again, at least anytime soon. So, as disappointing as it is, I guess that's just the way it is. So, now, I suggest this book as often as I can. It is one of those books that is just awesome, and I could read over and over and over again. I mean, there are a couple parts that, and once I read them once, I could skip, but it's a very good book, and I can read this. Excuse me again. Sorry, I just had some orange juice. I can read this in a day, easily. I can read it real fast. And the first time I read it, I actually didn't read it in a day because I put it down, I had other things I needed to read, so I only got like 2 pages in. But you can go through this like wicked fast, and you don't even notice the fact that there actually are chapters. It doesn't go by chapters. There are 4 parts, and the first one is superstition. The second one is premonitions. Oh, and there goes my mouse bookmark. And the third one, in here somewhere. Oh, clairvoyance. And then the last one is levitation. And it doesn't want to show up. Where are you? Anyway, it's levitation. It is. I know. That's the one that I can remember. But anyway, so it's in 4 parts. And you don't even notice. Because you'll be reading through it, and you'll get to the next part, and you'll be like, oh, really? I read that much already? And then you keep going, and then before you know it, you finished it. Because you keep wanting to read. It's a page turner. You keep wanting to read. You want to find out what happens to these women. And there's 4 women. It's the sisters, and then later Sally's daughters. Sally's 2 daughters. And they go in a little bit about the aunt's past relationship and a little bit into one of their ancestors' relationships too in there. Now, I'm going to tell you now that the book is a lot different from the movie, but I still suggest both because I like both. And I suggest this for women especially. Because they're very strong characters, very strong women characters, and it goes through a lot of the the emotion and the about love and responsibility and all of that. It's a very good book, and I actually suggest this at a younger age. At 16 is a good starting point. 16 and onward is good. I'm not sure how you school your children, so I'm not exactly sure. Read it first if you're not sure. If you have it already, read it yourself first, and then decide whether you want your daughter to read it or not. Because if you feel that it's fine, you could even start younger if you wanted. But I'm going to warn you that a lot of Alice Hoffman's stories tend to be on the racy side. I mean, it's not as bad as picking up a romance novel where it gets really in detail or anything, but it still is racier. I mean, it's very obvious it's in that realm. And then the other thing is in this book particularly, she does swear a lot, and rather strongly swearing. So if you're not sure, I really suggest you read it yourself first. But it is a very good book, a very good book. I cannot tell this book enough. And I lost my train of thought, but we will get there. Try and think of all the things I wanted to talk about before this thing cuts out. Maybe that's it. Yeah, close enough, I suppose. If you have any questions, go ahead and message me or comment below. That'd be great. And also, if you have any suggestions for reviews, that would also be great too. I don't bite, so feel free to message me, and I'll think about it based on what I own. I mean, I have a lot of books that I could review, but suggestions are always nice. And I won't just stick in the line of books either. I'll veer into manga maybe a little bit if I know what it is. And anime too, but I'll be a little pickier on anime because I know there are a lot of great anime reviewers already on YouTube. So if you don't know them, I can get you there too. So yeah, I'll be a little pickier on anime reviews because there's a lot of them out there. But if you pull my arm, and it's an anime say that I really, really like, then maybe I might review it. But then again, it'll be I really, really, really like. I don't know if I will review things that I don't like. I don't know. I know there are things that I didn't like, but I don't really like to trash things very much. And so I just don't feel that that's very nice. But there are books that I've read that I really, really didn't like. And if you do want to know which ones those are so that you steer clear of them, or you want to, look into it yourself a little more, I can tell you those too. And below there'll be the link to my Tumblr, China Doll. And so if you go on Tumblr more than you go on YouTube, then I post them there so that the reviews, and it's hopefully every Monday. I'm going to really try to stick to it, a review every Monday. And ending here, I'm going to read a little quote thing. And if you have any quote suggestions too, because I will be ending every video with a quote, go ahead and send me those too. And don't be shy, maybe you'll get picked. And because I can only go through this book so much, and I must admit I'm rather picky about what I say out loud. But this is from the Treasury Great Poems of English and American. And I picked She Walks in Beauty. She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless times and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes, thus mellowed to that tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies. Kind of mispronunciation. One shade the more, one ray the less, had half inspired the nameless grace, which waves in every raven tress, or softly lightens o'er her face. Where thought's serenely sweet express, how pure, how dear their dwelling place, and on that cheek and o'er that brow, so soft, so calm, yet eloquent, the smile that when the taints that glow, and tell the days in goodness spent, a mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent. I thought that was pretty. So, and don't worry, I'll get used to sitting here and reviewing and talking to you guys, and maybe I'll actually get good at reading, the quotes. So, thank you so much